afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and riveting, amazing Propagandacast from your host from Pearl Dane, the one, the only master of propaganda. Your sanctioned source of crime news entertainment, your lord and master, your hero. The one you worship above all other things. Wait, no, not yet. Off here to 1 vs 1 on Vilshanka. Yes, indeed, Vilshanka, that lovely brownish greenish map. In the west, we got here C++, fighting for America, freedom, democracy, taking on the role here of the 2nd Infantry Division. West in the east, it is MattewGod, or Matthew, we'll just call him Matthew because that's going to be easy for me to pronounce repeatedly. Fighting for Germany, Deutschland, taking on the role here of the Panzerdivision, with elite armoured Luftwaffe Grand Forces and Grand Offensive Triple Infantry versus Tactical Support Airborne and Heavy Cavalry with Double Infantry and Bazooka Bulletins. We got a cool start here for Matthew with full grenadiers as well. Double rifle start for C++ as he rapidly moves in to secure the centre with barbed wire from those nasty krauts. And there you go, Rayson spotted here by the Fultons being shot in their backs by those cowardly Fulton grenadiers as they set in to stop those Americans. Already half health from there, go C++ immediately just hits retreat and gets the devil out of there. Also, as always, please remember to like, subscribe and share and press that bell button. Means you're more likely to get the video and particularly press the bell button, and also others get to see the video as well, so you know, helps me out a bunch as well and gets the video as many possible as humanly possible, so that'd be most appreciated. We got Kubang sending out here though for Matthew, going in aggressively against C++ car point, following up to secure the center victory point. Aggressive raid tactics here as C++ responds to that with infantry counter maneuvers. Northern fuel point secured, and right here we can see that Matthew's making use of the Kuban just to sort of pressure C++, force C++ to keep the forces on defensive posture, ensuring they can't actually grab as much territory in the early games. So it's a bit of a devious little move here, using the Kuban for that quite nicely, and certainly considering there's no mechanized, there's no immediate threat here from, say, a fast dart structure, otherwise punish a Kugelwagen. This, for example, would be a lot less amazing versus the Soviets, who could quickly just hit back with a scout car to counter the Kugelwagen. At which point you're definitely up for the count. But there you go. Rav make a big push in the centre with the full going to these. Kugelwagen falling back for now. Going to probably grab some territory elsewhere. Rav charging ahead here. Probably should retreat soon. There we go. Leaving behind poor Ludwig to, in the dust. There's more fulls moving up here. We got heavy fighting there. In the south point's being scored. There we go. Kugelwagen from the north flanking him with the MG-34. Forts can mount here, do some extra damage here versus C++ infantry. Nice little maneuver there. Forces keep the attention occupied, ensuring the Kugelwagen can actually do some damage without getting shot to pieces in a matter of moments. Pushed away here. Love to see what Matthew goes for next. Probably more full grenadiers here. Kugelwagen again swinging back towards the car point, even as C++ is threatening the car point of the German army. We got more fulls on the way there. And I imagine there we go. Lieutenant out here for C++. Actually, that's a really fast lieutenant. Like, only 2 rifle squads into Lieutenant is pretty fast there from C++. And there's probably getting some fast 50 calibers here to put pressure on Matthew with that, or even a fast, very fast mechanized command post there. We'll have the siege jump moving about the rifle. More moving from the north of the Lieutenant. Kugelwagen moving about in the north, could try and grab some territory, but of course it does look like here Matthew's already planning on using the Kugelwagen to support frontline troops in the act of fighting the Americans. Lieutenant pursuing the Sturm Pioneers, getting a good kill there. Falling back, as soon as the Sturmpanzers get to heavy cover, since then pushing at them would be a very bad move there by C++. Good read there. Fulton's moving up, and there you go. 50 couple on the way there for C++. Truck on the way for Matthew. But likely going to be a mechanized region, but could also be a surprise battlefield headquarters here from the Germans. Lieutenant slowly shot to bits by the Volksgrenadiers. Sturmpanzer moving further up here, pressuring the Lieutenant from the south, slowly gutting his men with accurate assault rifle fire. C++ trying to buy as much time as possible, but Matthew's on the move here with a sizable force of German infantry from the Panzerdivision. 50 caliber almost down there. Moving back in the north here with the Kugelwagen. Fulton setting out there, shooting down the Volksgrenadiers. Shots being fired. We got a banana gun against the rifleman. Shooting down to bits. 50 caliber moving up there. There we go, catching at least one of squads there, but Matthew's quick to split up his troops that way, avoiding the entire force being suppressed, so quick move there. But again, you can see they're constantly hitting that fuel, or cut upon there to the fuel point, constantly harassing, constantly disrupting C++ fuel flow there to sort of slowly get them an advantage. That's a really solid move there. Mechanized regiment going up there for Matthew and the Panzerdivision. 5th cover they're setting up, but now it's going to get hit from another side there by Matthew's full. But no, wasn't set up. That's a quick set up there. Sturm Pioneers by the centre here. Half health versus Rifle Lieutenant in as well. They're forced to push back. Intense fighting here across the front between Matthew and C++, with another 5th Cavalry there to further control Matthew's infantry. Heavy emphasis then the heavy machine guns, haha. 5th Cavalry opening up the full descent, chanting rifle falling up. They've got the Kuhwagen opening up there. Half a Tavetsons you want for the German army. Back here we got troops reinforcing there. Sturmpaniers right in the centre, 5th Cavalry moving ahead. He's going to open the Kugelwagen. Close Tavetsons one there onto Kugelwagen. But it's also close to death, and so we'll need to get it back for repair soon. Otherwise, that's going to be an easy kill there for C++. Meanwhile, in the south, C++ also going a bit more on the offensive, can soon threaten Matthew's fuel pump. We'll have to see how he responds to that. Moving up here, Fulton's being shot at by the riflemen. Securing the northern points. An aggressive push there, establishing a series of frontages there to basically sort of grab otherwise joint territories and just make it harder for Matthew to launch a counterattack. Since he's going to run inside the machine gun there, the rifle squad in the building there. Good setup there by C++. Ooh, left a little bit of an open gap there. Might have been a misclick there with the 5th gun there. Go looks on the way for Matthew. And C++ currently doesn't really have any anti-tank weapons. There's no bazookas, though. Clearly there's a setup for bazookas thanks to that bazooka range bulletin, so probably we'll be seeing bazookas to counter such a unit. Folks around the car on ending threat, and we can see there C++ is really just looking at it hard here on Matthew and the Germans. Back here, troops reinforcing healing. Looks almost done. Actually, not a lot of healing going on except for that bit. Almost got the car front here. Folks there, not quite on the point there. Go forced retreat, 5th Cavalry repositioning again. And with this, it is C++ time to put Matthew on the defensive in terms of fuel. Also holding most of the map. In fact, gaining most of the victory points now. So that's very good there for C++ and America. Up north, Jump has been held back here. The rifle grabbing the northern nations as well. And there you go. Looks like the outflank spans out there for Matthew. Fun fact though, it wasn't the only German reconnaissance tank that sort of light and sort of, shall I say, the same weight class. There was also one based off the Czechoslovakian Panzer 38T with a similar gun and overall almost similar appearance as well, though it just gets less talked about. Looks from here though for the 5th Cavalry there, pushing it back, and right now of course C++ has no anti-tank weapons. Could go for the Captain anti-tank guns, but also could go for the Steward. That also works, but obviously that's going to require calling a Puma either way. Then again, the Puma is likely inevitable. So, I mean, inevitably, I think bazookas will be needed here for C++ to help deal with Matthew's vehicle incursion. Rather than there being shot a bit for the Volkswagen Sturmpost moving ahead here, similarly to how C++ advanced rapidly, of course, once the breakthrough was made, so is Matthew, and that's a good skill to have. You'll see some sort of mid-tier players, they'll sort of use this, they've made the push, they've broken enemy lines, and then they go nowhere. Whereas, you know, you'll see good players, once they make the breakthrough, they'll just push as fast as they can before encountering any sort of resistance, and then sort of just grabbed the sort of territories they bypass, sort of that way, but basically being able to rapidly establish sort of a aggressive forward front line versus the opponent. That can make it a bit hard for them to push back with. Also shot resource flow. Got a few mines there around the centre victory point, very good. Stood light tank out here for C++, striking right at that Kraut light tank, and there go, great hit here. Of course, charges right into the Panzerfaust, so while the Nukes will be away, the Steward won't be able to quickly follow up on it, thanks to the Panzerfaust. In the south, Friesen, they're taking fire from the Volkswagen, but also the Kugelwagen here. Veterans 1-2 kills, momentum pushing ahead. We got Fallschirmjägers out as well for Matthew and the Panzerlehr Panzerbeschützen in from the nearby 3rd Fallschirmjäger Regiment. And some of the Fallschirmjägers in Normandy found themselves split up across quite a bit of terrain and fighting with all sorts of units, so little fun fact there. Fixing up the Steward light tank around the northern nations. Matthew has been able to establish some re-establish some equilibrium here between him and C++ in terms of territory. Steward light tank good to go there. 5th Cavalry up the Volkskandiers, though broadside out of the building, there's the 5th Cavalry. Yeah, looks like here Matthew decides it's not worth the risk. Alright, Leute, let's get out of there before the Americans shoot us to bits. But there you go, Steward on flank there, trying to gain some extra damage and probably some kills there on the retreating units. If it could hit properly, Puma on the way there for Matthew and the Panzerlehr Panzerbeschützen. Got the Steward move straight ahead into a large chunk of Volkskandiers, the Panzerfaust at the ready. Aim just is a bit off. More pressure here around the car point, trying to threaten again with a car point hit there. And we can see Matthews bringing in more forces. Steward halfway done, and there you go. Oh, not Steward, Puma's halfway done. The Steward is already there. We've got bazookas there ready for the re-echelons, and of course with a bit of extra range they can threaten Matthew's armour and vehicles a bit better. One kill on the Fallschirmjägers. Storming about. Ooh, right about to hit that mine. Veterans 1 gained. 234-2 arriving here for Matthew and Deutschland. Puma looks moving in with infantry support. Very good tactical formation there from Matthew. As C++ concedes the front line here to the Germans. Having not the strength to fight for it efficiently, he just decides it's not worth it. And that's honestly the right decision making. Right here, though, a bit of a bad call, though, the retreat path. And up lightly costing him the rifle squad. And that's the one he actually upgraded with the BAR first. So that's going to be the BAR down the drain as well. But no, Stewart to the rescue here, using its shell shock to just save the day there. Bold maneuver by C++, but does save the rifle squad. So 2 thumbs up there. Very nice. I don't think I'd pull that one off myself personally. Puma and Henry got the missile team. There you go. Good hit there, Puma. Suffering catastrophic damage from the bazookas. Almost being taken out. Smokes in their pop to get out of there. Luke's hanging back here. 6 kills, veterans who won. Center secure there by the full Scandinavia. Got the 5th cover setting up here against all the advancing infantry. Racking up, the BARs ready to conduct some violence on the crowds. Folks, they're being slowly shot to bits here. Luke's being shot to bits by the 5th caliber. Got the armor piercing rounds being set up as well. Very good, very good. Fixing up the sewer light tank there. Further back in the base, nothing further going on there. And we got more Fallschirmjägers here for Matthew. Actually putting him at 6 infantry squads for that, which is really a lot of infantry, and definitely where you want to be careful because you risk easily losing them because you have to manage so much. But still, that's a lot of Fallschirmjägers and a lot of infantry. Clearly a believer in infantry action. There's also a chance he might be a believer in blobbing, which is less impressive. But either way, we'll find out, I imagine. Either way, he has a lot of German infantry assembled here for a push through American lines to force them back into the channel. Got the loose opening up here, and the lieutenant. Fallschirmjägers only as well, the T-42s and the K-90Ks. Reyerssons rifling up, stood backing up as well there. Truck on the way for Mr. Matthew. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be the Schwer punted quarters. Also, it's up course for T-42s on the Fallschirmjägers. So that's always nice. Unless you're the Americans, in which case, obviously, that has slightly less pleasant associations. Looks like close to Veterans T2. Fallschirmjägers follows on the very far here. We got a big push here. But he's standing out in the open, which is obviously not where you want to be standing against a lot of Germans with a lot of guns. See what they're getting there. T2. Nope, by the way, he's actually yet to gain a single kill, which is slightly noteworthy and a bit awkward. In the south, bit of harassment here, but we've got a 5th caliber ready to stop such a move. In fact, good work there by C++. 5th caliber there being host, and we get smoke bombs in against all the 5th calibers. Bit of airborne support there for C++, oh not C++, for Matthew, and the Panzerlehr Panzerdivision causing a collapse there in C++ line, so the 5th caliber has to reposition, and we can see there's a breakthrough attempt here by Matthew in the north. A very nice push there going through. C++ trying to establish a second line there to hold up the Germans, but can C++ do this in time, or will he risk being overwhelmed? There you go, troops bringing in there. 5th caliber should be able to stop them, but they go already splitting up. Realise the 5th caliber group setting up. Stood bringing from the south here. It's going to be a close one here, and we got the Reyerssons besieged here inside the building. Germans on all sides, putting them into line of fire, the bazookas, and they're going for falling back. Some squads have in fact managed to be suppressed. The assault in the end did not work out, and C++ was thusly able to stop it. Very good play there by C++. Required some nerves of steel there. That was a lot of Germans there with a lot of guns. That could easily go nutty there for C++. And being GG possibly in at the moment. Ooh, we got Airborne. So we got Airborne versus Luftwaffe ground forces. That's not something you see very often. Also briefly considered Obersoldaten, but I actually put them at 7 infantry squads, which would be quite a bit. Wait, just a bit of quiet there. Will C++ go for Fallschirmjägers? Oh, not Fallschirmjägers, paratroopers. Well, technically, Fallschirmjäger is German for paratrooper. Specifically, parachute hunter is what sort of literally means. Stuart moving up there. Stuart moving up in the Volkskandiers. 1 kill by now, very good. There we go, big Fallschirmjäger pushing the centre. He's going for the 3rd Fallschirmjäger squad. It has 7 infantry squads, 3 Volkskandiers and 3 Fallschirmjägers. That is a lot of infantry. It's actually very rare seeing Oberkommandos player commit to this much infantry. They are known for going for a lot of infantry, still 7 infantry squads and 3 of them Fallschirmjägers is kinda nuts. It's going to be quite a challenge here for C++ with standards. Of course, the 5th Cubs will prove a critical role, in particular when Matthew decides to bunch them up like this. That certainly will be the challenge there for C++, then to set up the 50 couples in such a manner it can stop all of these voracious German infantry assaults with a lot of Fallschirmjägers. At this point, I'm certainly expecting we'll be seeing FT-42s still enough for them, or more FT-42s obviously. Troops heading out there. Back here, troops reinforcing for C++. Troops heading northwards. 5th Cavalry hanging back here. There we go. Spare planted quarters authorised. And immediately lieutenant. Sometime away from tanks. Meanwhile, C++ actually doing quite well in the resource department. And probably should be considering pushing for tanks fast here. There's all of this infantry. I mean, shown with high explosive rounds, for example, would be quite helpful. But obviously, the home's going to be a bit of a challenge there. We also got anti-tankers called in here from above. Very nice work there by C++, making use of the airborne doctrine for that purpose. Big push here again. Going for the fuel point again. Knows exactly where he wants to land his blows with surgical precision. If the surgeon speaks German, that is. Puma there, taking heavy damage from the Stuart, getting stunned up, rifling up there, trying to get it in. Anti-tankers on nearby, Reasons moving up as well. Bazooka team's Puma making a sharp swing there and gets away close one there. Heavy casualties amongst C++ infantry due to the bun grenades. Bit of an overreach, I think, there, but C++ trying to get to that Puma, allowing the Fallschirmjägers a lot of free shots. Ended up being quite expensive there for C++ without really causing any permanent harm to the Germans either. And lost a 50 caliber in the process as well. This is huge, and this is very bad for C++. Very bad. I mean, our opponent has a 50 caliber, which of course is really powerful, but of course it's all just short one. And again, there's an opponent with 7 infantry squads. You do not want to be shot on machine guns versus that much infantry. That's like being shot on Panzerfaust when you're Germans in Fury. That's a bit no. Anyways, still moving about here. Fallschirmjäger's opening up. Right near us, the Fallschirmjägers are close. There they go. Gewaltladung. A World War I era tactic, by the way. Basically just lashing a bunch of warheads from different steel grenade around one and then just chucking away there. They actually initially used this to, I guess, clear out trenches, the sort of stormtrooper tactic, but they also found usage as anti-tank weapons in the early stages of the World War II as well, in fact. So, little fun fact there about the bundle grenade or the Gewaltladung. Stuart heading northwards here. We got Fulton, they caught in a bit of a bind there, so Stuart hunts them down. Very close to the ace level, in fact. Back here, troops reinforcing. Puma good to go. Lux is down. Kuberwagen, by the way, is still alive there for Matthew, which is a bit impressive. I imagine it's not because he's been using it intensively versus the Germans. It's probably just been having a nice time with some crackers and cheese. You know, this ersatz case is really nice. Yeah. Fun fact, in English, that means it's replacement cheese. Ooh, yeah. That means it's not cheese. Yeah, I know, Wilhelm, I know. Do we have to ruin it all? Yeah. Anyways, troops moving ahead through the centre. We've got a Reasons squad with a pair of bazookas forming up a formidable hold against a single Puma, but against a sizable German infantry assault of, I don't know, at least a sizable platoon there. That's not going to work out. So with this, launching a platoon level assault here in the centre where C++ definitely not has a platoon in the way. In fact, the Major got cut to shreds. Reasons got pummeled as well there, in part by the 5th Cavalry there. Heavy damage there to Mr. C++. Might get the Puma with the anti-tank and the Stuart. Small chance here. Oh, if the anti-tank gun could hit, that is. In the centre here, troops being pushed back. Just heavy losses there for C++. Finally got the Sherman away. Could have had that out sooner, by the way. At least a minute or two, which I think is going to be helpful here. But now needs to launch in for a counter-offensive. The anti-tank that's been pursued here. Just a big push here from Matthew. Massive push. I'm surprised we haven't seen any FT-42s yet for the Fallschirmjägers. Smoke bombs in, there goes Sherman charging forwards there, opening up in the Fallschirmjägers, landing a great hit there. Half the squad gone in the blink of an eye. 5th Cavalry moving up, of course need to be careful of the smoke. Overall good use of smoke there by Matthew, allowed to more safely grab territory and disrupt his opponent. Sherman charging through there with high explosive rounds. He's clearly not worried about the Puma. There we go, crushing troops and shooting the rest. Out of the 5th Calibers, 5th Cavalry, 30 Cavalry, whole machine gun, just the high explosive shells. Steel Pass close being crushed here by the Sherman. Need to be careful. And there you go, Puma moving in. This could really be a bad development for C++. His Sherman's way down to less than half health. We've got a Kedner, we've got Pantherfast on it. We need to get the Sherman out there fast. Opening up. The anti-tank opening up. Could take out the Puma here. Small chance. Sherman takes hit from the Kednerfer. And the Puma is down. Stuart flanks up behind the Kednerfer and the 5th cover there. Sherman repairing too close to the front line. I guess he's trying to conduct some emergency repairs, but he didn't. Oh dear. He must lose up north. He's dealing with the Kednerfer and the 5th cover there. Sherman very low on health. Oh, keep moving, C++. I guess he's trying to do too much there. Versus his opponent there, go the Kednerfer gets the Sherman. Oh, 9. Oh no. I don't think the Germans are complaining about a Sherman tank exploding. Ach mein Gott, I hope those Americans are safe. Good one, Helmut. Yeah. Paratroopers calling number C++. So we got Fallschirmjägers versus Paratroopers. Not really a matchup you see as often as you'd think, but here we are. I hope it goes for Thompsons on them. Thompsons I feel like are really good and actually overlooked, but a lot of players just tend to prefer the Browning light machine guns, and they're good, but like the Thompsons with tactical assault are absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. Back here, troops reinforcing for C++. Going to have to work hard here versus Matthew and the Panzerlehr Panzerjungs, finally bringing up some actual Panzers. The Panzerkampfwagen 4 aus Franjod. Troops sitting out there. Fallschirmjägers. Still no FT-42s. I mean, they do perform well without them, but it's still surprising to see someone goes along with Fallschirmjägers without upgrading them. It is a bit surprising. Paratroopers need to get out of there. I mean, this time some engaging, they definitely need light machine guns, but at the same time, they're just submachines. If you can sort of get them close enough, they can just do some gloriously horrific work to your opponent. But there you go. We also got a Kedner then servers now here of C++. Very good there. Definitely a mistake there by Matthew pushing too far. We got 209 versus 425. Big lead here for C++ and the 2nd Infantry Division. With the Panzerlehr Panzerdivision to keep launching assault after assault. Oh, my apologies about the hiccup. Fallschirmjäger securing the north. Panzer 4 moving through the centre here. As we got a squad level assault here on the cut-off point again. Oh, damn it. Oh, bollocks. Pushing here through the centre, north. Falcon's leading the assault with Fallschirmjägers ready to form up the defence reserve if necessary. Looks like the ambulance was a bit in the way. And the south Panzer 4 moving through here. No pin-up machine gun yet there for it. And still no sign of the FT-42s here from Matthew, but he's controlling a good chunk of the map here now versus C++. 2nd Infantry Division is in a tight spot, needs to reorganise and launch a counter-attack that will surely break the crouch backs like twigs. Fighters moving up from the south here, Panzer going in for a raid there as well. A boat manoeuvre here by Matthew. I like that. Oh, it's great to see a player make more use of the map and just, attacking head-on to the opponent. In this case, his opponent was interacted in time. The unfortunate there for Matthew. The execution could perhaps have been a bit better, but overall, the idea was nice. Pushing in for the car point, the fuel put almost secured. Fallschirmjägers opening up as well here, at least in theory should be, but apparently the ambush got busted, but somehow they aren't responding to it. I guess one of the finicky elements of the engine here. Fallschirmjägers up the rifleman. Stewart charging it straight into the 5th caliber, though that's not going to be one there by the 5th caliber. Needs to retreat that one. Unless he intends to hand it back there to C++. Paired to a score there, close veterans 1 there for C++. You can soon upgrade them with Thompsons. And the south points have been scored by the Futzkers and the Sturmpioniere. Back here, troops reinforcing, getting ready for the next big offensive there for Matthew. As his Panzer IV roams the front line, looking, I think, just to sort of conduct spawning attacks against C++, make it hard for him just to move ahead. Of course, he needs to be careful with all of the bazookas, the Kednev and the anti-tank gun. I mean, by now he's actually got a sizable amount of firepower that can make life difficult for his Panzer IV. But we got a Stuka now here. Probably help deal with the support weapons or the infantry, in particular the way that C++ does cluster them up. That does make the Stuka a better choice here if he can aim it. And obviously in this regard, the Stuka can be tricky to aim for some players, and some will just keep constantly whiffing. But there are a few special players who actually know how to aim the damn thing, and they can consistently land some really powerful kills with it. So we'll have to see if Matthew is part of this small elite of players who can aim. Good work, Oberleutnant Matthew. You're part of the not cross-eyed artillery squadron. Make sure to do Germany proud. And hopefully we can somehow overcome this strange deficiency of how most of artillerymen are cross-eyed. Stood here as the Fallschirmjägers moving from the North German almost down there for C++. You can also see that Matthew is making a quick push down the victory points against Matthew. Oh, I'm against C++. The other way around. My mistake. Patrolling northwards. Big infantry push there again. Good maneuvering there by Matthew. Though he does favour the north because again he can sort of get to his opponent's fuel. At the same time he does display some manoeuvrability, and there goes Sherman strikes in. Good hit in the Fallschirmjäger of the Volksgrenadiers. Well, good-ish. I mean, oh, there you go. Better hit. Stuka's flying down, but heavy casualty amongst all the supports. The machine gun crews got utterly gutted there. And one of the anti-tank crews also pretty much just got slaughtered. In fact, both the Kednev crews are down. An absolutely astounding rocket strike here from Matthew, certainly showing he may just have what it takes. Paratroops, went down. Huge casualty here for C++ against Matthew. Matthew and the Panzer are just causing untold casualties. The steward explodes. The crew pushed out like peanuts in a bag that's just been popped. Anti-tank and destroyer Kevinstone but decrewed again. Heavy casualties, heavy fighting, intense bleeding on both sides. But so far, Matthew's still coming ahead there with a sizable larger force than his opponent with 86 versus 42. C++ is in a bad place. And I'm not talking about France. No. Yeah, I didn't quite get that one there. Quite right, I didn't land that one. I was about to say Finland, but that only works, you know, where the sun isn't shining. Finland. I don't want to, like, insult the Finnish. I feel like that could have very detrimental effects on my long-term health. So I don't think we're going there. Anyways, fixing up the Sherman there for C++, getting ready for the next big push against the Krauts. 2nd Infantry Division reorganises. Calls in more support from the 101st Airborne. Light machine guns finally being handed out to those poor Screaming Eagles. As Panzer here, with support from the 3rd Fallschirmjäger Regiment, gets ready for another crashing assault there against the Americans. Ready to shatter the Americans and leave their Star-Spangled Banner kaput. The careful landing great on the Sherman. Panther 4 getting back to 2 in for the charge range for the 5th Cavalry there. Heavy damage to the Panther 4. Need to Cavalry doesn't get too confident. That could leave C++ has a good chance to really push back there. Almost got the Panther 4. Oh, Scheiße. Seems to be a case of hubris, and he gets the Panzer IV. He was too slow, he was too sluggish. That was definitely a misplay there by Matthew. The Kednev, though, continues to do heavy damage. Still, the Panzer IV is down. He can go for another one, he does go for another one, but still, that's a Panzer IV down, meaning C++ might have a chance to catch up in tanks here versus Matthew. I'm guessing he was trying to manage something else and just didn't realise the Kednev was doing all that damage. Sherman there opening up the advancing German infantry. Got 5th Cavalry there setting up around the car point. Panzer IV halfway done. No, the actual bit of the structures was actually the sort of wooden crates on the side known as Wurfrahmen, or wood of throwing frames. They could just be attached to a lot of things. In fact, sort of attached to the Hutch kits, but they also just commonly use sort of a static rocket launches. For example, you had several sort of rocket launcher batteries and Luftwaffe batteries there in Normandy. They're just basically these sort of wooden frames set up to, like, you know, bombard. Little fun fact there. Little fun fact. Fallschirmjäger Sturm punishing northwards. Double 5th Cubs opening up the German from the centre. Note, by the way, he has yet to lose any of these 7 infantry scores. I mean, that is actually some really damn impressive management. It's not like, while he does blob, he doesn't always blob. Like, he's actually able to manage all of these things, because normally players with this much infantry would only just consistently blob, but Matthew isn't. Might also be why he lost against that Panzer IV, because just basically managing all the other infantry, but still. It is worth just pointing out, he's successfully managing 7 infantry squads without any wipes. I really cannot stress that, because normally, again, my rule of thumb is you just go to 5 and no more, because after that you really need some serious management skills to handle that much infantry, and Matthew's doing it. So that's impressive. I don't think I could do that at all. My micromanagement is a bit more rubbish, to put it mildly. Reasons the Norfolk's there, the 4 C++, the 2nd Division, reeling, but they are recovering. They're getting ready to withstand the Kraut assault. Scrambling up there. 5th Cavalry backing up to catch up, and infantry pushing too far ahead. There you go. So 5th Cavalry scores covering at the front, just making it harder here for Matthew just to push through with no matter how much infantry he has. The 5th Cavalry are very good at stopping up infantry assaults. Infantry with a bit of veterans. There we go. Another Stugas vs. barrage. And C++ begin to retreat troops and units there as the rockets fly down like highly explosive lawn darts thrown from too high above. Fighterman's there halfway to the ace level there. 25 kills, finally equipped with the more FT-42s, and we got more paratroopers here for C++, clearly not intending to be outdone on the airborne infantry frontage. Maybe that one will get Thompson's second. Like, Thompsons are good. It's just a few people actually going for them, which is a shame. Followed the being suppressed to the 5th Cavalry. And there you go, Fighterman's been caught, or paratroopers been caught here by the Panzer IV. Apparently they had a bit of a mini creep there. C++ can soon go for another Sherman. Could put more pressure on the infantry, and certainly that would be the main priority at the moment. Just all of the infantry that Matthew and the Panzerlehr has on the field. I mean, that's a lot of infantry. Fighting being expressed by the double 5th Cavalry there, and Sherman in as well. High explosive rounds being delivered there with not quite what they call impeccable precision, or the opposite. But there you go. France there gets blown to bits. South point to be short. We got more light machines with the paratroopers, and again helps us the infantry longer range, but Thompsons are good. And his Panzer IV full sitting southwards there. Okay, Valencia great on the Panzer IV. Now they hit their main gun out. Okay, Vadas has a nice rate of fire, and certainly only gets better with the veterancy. And certainly highlights just one of the issues what happens when North almost loses the Academy after the opponent. Like, it can quickly become a problem for them. Quickly. Ooh, almost got a fault on the 5th Cavalry crew. Close one, but not quite. Oh, did get it, but can't quite grab it since it's so close to the enemy base. Fulton's Fighter's moving up, trying to sail the centre point here, but Matthew's assault is very much getting stuck in the muck. And there you go, Stugas unleashes another volley from hell. This time they're only getting 1 kill. Ooh, on the other, oh, lost another 5th Cavalry there. That was definitely a mistake that was C++ pushed them too far ahead. Not entirely sure what he did that, but got basically just slaughtered here by a thorough volley there from all the Fallschirmjägers. Big blow there to C++, because now again, 7 infantry squads and only 150 caliber to stop that. That's definitely going to be a uphill battle now here for C++. Like the 5th Cavalry again, just really out cruising, containing all of Matthew's infantry. There you go, big push here. Platoon-sized infantry push there with Panzer IV support there. We can see C++ trying to establish a front hitch here. Paratroopers laying down light machine gun fire. We got Van Assault. Matthew is really going for it. He is ordering his men to push to the very limits. Laying down everything they can against the Americans, and the assault, even with valiant assault backing up, fails. The Americans able to lay enough firepower here to stop the assault in its tracks. And he has to concede what ground he gained here during the push. A very unpleasant development there for Matthew. But it was a close one there. He was really close to pull off. I think if he spread out his men a bit further, maybe pulled a bit from the north, there might have been a chance there. C++ meanwhile really could do with some more tanks versus Matthew, because I mean, if there's one thing Matthew's actually really short on, it's anti-tank weapons. Like, there's Jürgen there with the bazooka, and there's the Panzer IVs of like C++ gets more tanks. Matthew may find a bit of an issue with all the infantry here. Sherman good to go again. 12 kills, slowly approaching the halfway point to veteran 2. Seizing the lower point to the both paratrooper squads. I want to keep calling them Fallschirmjägers. Panzer IV setting out there. Straight at the lieutenant. We got the Sherman to respond. But has to switch out to armor piercing rounds first. Petrol's routed by the Fulton Grenadiers. Just falling back here as there's a massive throng of infantry moving in there. Got another Sherman there for C++. Very good. Could actually follow up with a third one. Could even consider going for Scott to further help deal with the infantry. There you go. Reinhardt there shot by the Panzer IV. The kid up with the Panzer IV and bounces. That's a bit of bad luck there for C++. Great there for Matthew. Second shot misses. And there you go, another Stukas barrage. Another rocket barrage from hell. Not quite so much like this time around. C++ getting better just dodging them. So with this, Matthew's making good gains now. We got 141 to 211. Going to be close in between the two. Going to be close. Southern victory point being seized as well. He's just going for all 3 victory points. He wants to stop the bleeding now. Lieutenant Parrish will Cadno 5th coming in here. Counter-attack in. The Falcon Squad could be the first wipe here against. Nope, nope, not a wipe there. Was close, but in the end, he still is managing 7 infantry squads. My good God. How often do you see that? You just don't. Big push here. Paratrooper squad launching a full-on assault here. Hoist it to the brim with the light machine guns. Showing South left being routed. Oh, close setting off the mine under them. That could actually been a wipe there. Now instead the Sherman hits the mine. Bad luck there, I suppose, a bit for C++. Great there for Matthew. Northern point there being seized. Keeping the tanks together, I think, is a very good idea. Panzer will pull back for repairs. Just a large swath of infantry there moving about in the base, repairing, healing, healing and reinforcing. So much infantry plus support weapons. In fact, that's almost an entire force with only a single Fulton squad now at the front line. C++, I think, is sensing this, quickly moving ahead there. Go, both Shermans good to go. Ready to blast some crowds. Still could do more 50 calibers, or again, more Shermans. Scots could also be an idea. But definitely, I think something that could put more pressure there on Matthews. Just a throng of field grey and paratrooper camouflage. Shermans are bombarding here. The flight makers and the Storm Pioneers and Fulton's all just bunched out in the open. Going for the northern field point there as well. Sherman there. 16 kills, 32 opening up. Great hit there. Could see a wipe. It could be the first infantry wipe he's going to get. Oh, looks like it. Looks like it. Heinz is a runner, but oh, he can't run fast enough. He can't outrun that many bullets. Stukas is laying down fire again there on all the support weapons. Gets some kills, but no wipes. Southern victory point being seized as well by a mix of infantry and 50 covers there from Matthew. Sherman moving up here. Big infantry push here. Fights makes opening up. Paratroopers nearby could help, and there you go. We got airborne assault. Calling in the Luftwaffe. Launching an assault here to break through the American front line. The Luftwaffe strikes with its Stukas. Infantry in a bit of a blob. They need to be careful against the Shermans. Could easily have horrifying consequences there for Matthew's infantry. Jackson on the way there to help deal with armour. Not entirely sure if the Jackson is the right pick. I mean, there's still overwhelming large amounts of infantry rather than their armour. And of course, oh, we actually get to see someone actually use the reinforcement ability as part of the ability. That's actually something that is part of it, but just rarely gets used. But you can reinforce Fallschirmjägers while the airborne assault ability is active. So nicely done there by Matthew. C++ the tank train there going for the Fallschirmjägers. Ooh, double whiff. I mean, it did some damage, but no real killing there, no casualties. Down to just 2 men with little health. That looks like the ace Fallschirmjägers there will live to see another day. Jackson almost down there for C++. Falling back from the centre, Fallschirmjägers and watching the north there. We got 128 versus 146. He's really just hitting those victory points now. He's basically decided the fuel doesn't matter, so he's just focused on the victory points now. Constantly striking here and there, just forcing his opponent to run from point to point. Certainly a nice shift in tactics and strategy there from Matthew, responding to the situation that develops. Very good. 2 thumbs up. Fallschirmjägers in the north, caught by the Shermans, backed up with the Jackson. Oh, could that be a wipe? No. He really has some great luck with those Fallschirmjägers. Panther on the way there for Matthew, the Panzerkampfwagen 5. Ooh, falls with the bazooka there, taking the full brunt here of the Shermans. Full high explosive payload. Oh, managed to penetrate with a high explosive round, pushing the Panzer IV down to half health for the shot from the Jackson. Trying to clear out those bushes there to open up field to fire to cover the centre victory point. Halfway down with the Panther. Is he going to try and destroy it? I don't mind it, but I think he'll be using an anti-tank gun for that. Rather than moving in all of his armour here, at least without no backup plan or sort of escape plan. There you go, folks, taking fire from the Shermans. Building halfway dead. There you go, folks, just getting out. It's about to get annihilated. The rocket strike going down here behind. Doesn't seem to do any damage this time around. Both Shermans now eventually too. Panther arriving here for Matthew. Holy smokes, that was a great series of hits. Almost forgot the entire full committee score. We got 26 and we got 9 kills there. Flight makers versus the paratroopers. Light machine guns versus battle rifles. Troops are healing and enforcing for Matthew. Panther heading southwards. Crossing terrain and walls, making it hard for the opponent to dig in around the fuel point. No pinlock machine being added, bit of quad here between the two sides. Also got a rocket strafe ready here for C++ to try and break up any German armoured assault or defence. Used correctly, it could be a game-winning move. Used incorrectly, it could really put him in a tight spot. 100 points left now here for Matthew. C++ back in control of the victory points. There you go, counter-attacking northly with infantry and Panzer IV. Quick retreats, they're realising there's going to be a lot of Germans following in the wake of that. But it's down to just 5 infantry squads now, so that's a much more manageable number. And the large majority of infantry are Fallschirmjäger, so that's pretty solid there. Most players will end up, I think, losing the Fallschirmjägers more likely than the Volk's going to be, is due to the Fallschirmjägers being smaller in squad size, meaning they're easier to get killed off entirely. Fallschirmjägers getting the point here, ace level ambushes, very good. Ooh, caught there, and there you go. Panther moving up with its high velocity hydraulic gun. We got heavy fire than return the Panther, punching through the 80mm of sloped armour with some ease. And up north, Germans want to get right here alongside the Fallschirmjägers by the Shermans. But all of them do look to be escaping to live another day. Panther neat repairs, but looks like he can't quite make up his mind. He wants to risk more of it. 70 versus 128. Fixing all the armor, but for the most part, I'd say C++ actually managed to recover nicely after them of those previously very brutal matches that really just saw Matthew with a much larger force, but he wasn't able, I think, to push the advantage, and that has really given C++ time to recover. But the situation still remains pretty tight, pretty close. We got 70 versus 128. Both sides have got our tanks, though Matthew remains with a sizable infantry advantage that could really prove to be critical. And particularly on late game, people tend to underestimate just the power and utility of infantry, but infantry really can matter in the late game. So in that regard, I mean, Matthew, I think, has a notable advantage, and we'll have to see how that gets on. There you go, 5th cover machine being handled by the Shermans. And down it goes. Panther moving up here, Fulton moving up to get annihilated. Direct hit by the Jackson on the Panther. Fulton's squad almost wiped out there. I mean, if you can quickly get rid of that advantage that Matthew has, that can certainly help out. C++ line there, go air support called in. Oh dear, need to get the Shermans out of there. Push too far ahead, I think, there, without necessarily thinking it through. We got air support called as well there by C++, but the problem is, unless you got line of sight, it's a lot less effective. That's really the thing you have to keep in mind. Like, you can't just call it in and just forget. Because he called in very deep into enemy territory, has no line of sight. The tank's going away, but even then, like, except for like maybe the first series of strikes, they don't have to worry too much about it. Meanwhile, the way that Matthew called in this airstrike covers a much wider ground that makes it harder for C++ to get out of there. So that was a bit of an awkward call there, honestly, by C++. Meanwhile, Matthew had called in really well and took out a Sherman for it. But now, C++ bringing up the tank destroyer to further augment versus enemy armor. Clearly not too worried about the enemy infantry. Plus, lost a paratrooper squad. That's expensive. Panther needed some serious repairs. Some rocket strafes managed to happen, I think, but not entirely sure what got shot at, to be honest. 5th cover being flanked by the Ace Fallschirmjäger there. 22 kills, 32 and 19. Jackson tank's almost done there. And go second tank shot here for C++. In the south is trying to engage the Fudgemakers. And easily calls to retreat here. No contest whatsoever. Ooh, Panther took a few hits there. Panther got a bit too close. Nice bit of luck there for C++, but nice enough to really stop that Panther 4. Panther going for the Sherman. Be careful, they got Jackson's moving up though. Fudgemakers a little shot. Parrots about getting on it as well. Panther taking heavy damage here from the Jacksons. Sherman about to get knocked out by the Panther though. Another hit there. Sherman missed by the Panther. One another Jackson going for the kill on the Panther. Going for the kill. More artillery strikes down here from Matthew. And there you go. The Panther is kaput. Good golly. We got 51 versus 99. More parrots have been called in by C++ down. Just the paratroopers, vehicles, a bit of other stuff. There's not a lot of infantry left, whereas still Matthew has 5 infantry. Oh, he's down to 4. He actually lost the Fudgemakers squad. Wow. But still, that's a lot more infantry than what C++ has. Assuming it has like not a lot of tanks to still push and still fight. And of course the Jacksons aren't very good versus all the infantry, so there's also a bit of a slight issue there. Another Panther 4 there for Matthew. He could try and go for the Panther, but he's probably realising that would take too long. And he's down to like 51. He can't afford to try and wait for a Panther. That would be a really bad idea. We got 51 versus 80. Like, he's bleeding out his opponent fast, and so far we can sort of start to see maybe the issues with the lack of infantry for C++. Can't easily control the victory points, not the one in the north and the south. Whereas again, Matthew can very consistently harass them and just grab them. So there's a small chance here that C++ might have made a mistake there again in terms of force composition. Again, Jackson's a nice, might have committed to a few too many, perhaps. And there you go, Panther in the front, taking heavy damage from the Jacksons. Get the Shermans though, gets the Sherman. Fudgemakers pushing ahead there. Almost got the Panther over the Jackson. There you go. Down it goes. Bun grenade on the paratroopers. Pushing them off there. We got 51 versus 55. Jackson's moving ahead here. Going for the Scrap Hunted quarters. Probably should prioritize. She's trying to push away the other troops are threatening to crush them and then grab the points for repairing the Jacksons. And he's down to 49 now versus Matthews 51. When at this point, I don't think there's much of a purpose trying to destroy the Scrap Hunted quarters, and there you go. Instead, he lines up the Jacksons that get hit by the Stukas of Fuzz and get Panzerfausted. He almost got, but there you go. Panther moving in, main gun out there, really punishing, I think, C++ there from a tactical and strategic mistake there, to be honest. 43 versus 51, the casualties keep piling up, the pandemonium continues. Bazooka fire joining in there. Panther 4 down, lost to Jackson, but meanwhile, Matthew still has a lot of infantry. Again, the Jackson is absolute rubbish versus the infantry. So right now, Matthew's posing his one advantage. He's calling in smoke as well. Sturm Pioneers gaining the air, retreating. Holy crap. Absolutely out there match. We've got 51 versus 43. The carnage continues. I mean, this is a pretty heavy casualty there. I think at least 400 dead, possibly closing in on 500.
Germans have 50 points remaining.
50 points versus 43. Grabbing the points there. Moving in whatever little there's left. Might just want to call in some cheaper reactions to help grab some of the points. And of course, grab some of those support ones lying about as well. Like whatever can be done to hold these points should be done, I think, here by C++. Going for another Sherman. Infantry rush in the south there. Destroying the 5th Cavalry, alright. Paratroop in the centre here versus the 5th Cavalry infantry. Going for every single one of them. Sherman almost down there for C++. We got 39 versus 43. Paratroop popping a grenade here against Matthew's infantry. In the south, Fudgemakers grabbing the southern point here. Jackson moving into the rear echelons. Can't push them off though easily. Those Green Devils are tough warriors. Not entirely sure what the Jackson's doing. I guess he's trying to look for the Stukas of Fuzz. More death, more destruction. Sherman sitting out there for C++. We got 32 versus 40. Got the Scrap Punch Squad. I mean, they stopped the flow there. Get some more tanks from Matthew. But 33 versus 32. Rierson's about to get wiped out. We got Blenko to defend the Shem from firing. Great work. Rierson's annihilated. Now Matthew has, or C plus barely anything to get points with. He's going to have to use vehicle cruiser, which goes up, not for them to just moving up and killing it. And there you go, crushing the Fudgemakers with the Jackson Tank Destroyer. Matthew's Fudge was, oh, get wiped. Oh, no. Now he's down to run of infantry, but he's still got 32 versus 15, and C++ doesn't have a lot to grab points with anymore. It's all going the points is. He can't even do it. Oh, goodness. Cutting off, harassing, raiding. We got 7 points versus 32. Oh. C++ is looking so close, but looks like Matthew might be the one winning. 3 points, 1 point. 1 point. And there we go. GG. Game over. A loss for the 2nd Division. A successful assault here from the Panzerlehr. Panzerdivision has pushed them back from this mucky landscape there and secured a victory for the fatherland. A brutal slaughter here. Absolutely spectacular fight here between Matthew and C++. Really good play from both sides in the end. C++ I feel like at times pushed too far. And that, I think, rocket strike there, also striker safe, didn't quite pan out there well. Was a big waste of munitions. And definitely, I think, just ended up doing nothing. Meanwhile, again, Matthew had much better use of his abilities. But also just long term, he just... Like, he lost less infantry, but it was all just... He just had more infantry. That was also, I think, one of the things that really undermined C++ the way the match went on. So, you know, well played with both, but in the end, Matthew played better. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I've learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment, tell your friends, tell your family, but not your enemies. This is Imperial Links and cheers. Thank you for watching. Hope you all tomorrow again for a nice episode. Bye.